Talk about a crazy morning. I'm recording. It looks like you can see my screen. This is my fourth time this morning trying to get this right. Anyway, Ken Creager from Black Swan Financial Advisors, and sometimes technology wins. So anyway, here's my podcast. It's been a little while. I've been on travel a little bit. So I haven't done as many podcasts as normal. But I wanted to do another session more specifically about supplemental security income and the associated Medicaid benefit that most people get when they're on SSI. And just go over that. My website is now up, Black Swan Financial Advisors. Please go there. I have some premium content. I have a whole bunch of free content that will be up there shortly. It's mostly there. It's still kind of going through some growing pains, but it's there. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Black Swan FA, and please send me emails. Let's talk. And so let's jump right into the Social Security SSI supplemental security program and associated Medicaid. So this is a needs-based program. So you have to have really low income and asset levels to qualify. And SSI is a monetary benefit that's administered by the Social Security Administration, supplemental security income, and the Medicaid part is administered by the state. Okay, so you gotta know the state rules. You gotta talk to Social Security. You gotta talk to the state. So what happens when you're working if you get a job? And so we're going to talk about that. And some earnings can be excluded each month. Certain living expenses, if they're living in your home, get added as income. So anyway, you need to know the rules, and let's jump right into it. Some exclusions for income for the SSI part, for the income part, is any income that you get. So you have unearned income, which can be like a Social Security benefit, a pension, investments, whatever, gifts from people in your family. It's considered unearned income, and a whopping $20 of your unearned income can be excluded when looking at qualifying for SSI. So literally, if you get as much unearned income as your SSI benefit, you'll get no SSI. Okay. Earned income is treated a little bit differently. You can exclude an extra $65. So maybe between the two of those, two people could go to the movies and have treats. Okay. But so if you're working and getting earned income, thankfully only half of that gets included when counting up the income that is going to be excluded. So if your disabled loved one is a student under 22, they get it. There's a higher amount, and then work-related expenses like transportation or medical equipment can also be exclusions for determining SSI. And there's a special plan to achieve self-support that if you work on that, at least if you work on that, you can at least maybe get a higher income level. So again, two parts: a financial benefit and a health insurance benefit. And you can lose one or both or either, and you can get a reduced SSI or no SSI and still qualify for the Medicaid part, the health insurance. And for most people, most disabled people, the health insurance is the most important part, because healthcare costs are really expensive. And if they're not making any income, how are they going to pay the medical bills? So for most cases, that's the primary concern, is to make sure that if somebody's working or getting income from whatever sources, that it does not disqualify them from Medicaid. So again, SSI is managed by Social Security, Medicaid by the state. They both have their own rules, so you need to know what they are. Okay, so let's talk about Medicaid in Arizona. I'm in Arizona, so I can use Arizona. Your state's going to be similar, but maybe different, right? But similar. So it's called Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System, Access. There's always a lot of fraud in government programs, and so, you know, they like to check up on things. Every year you have to recertify. I just went through this this last week. I actually had to call them because I had to make a change with my daughter's situation, because our health care, which she is on because she's under 26, and we have employer provided health insurance, we switched that over to my wife's, and so I had to change that. So the nice thing in Arizona is that if the disabled person is getting SSI, then they don't do any kind of income validation. There's no certification of income or assessment to determine eligibility from an income perspective. But that also means that if you stop receiving SSI because you're getting too much income, then the state will end up doing its own assessment to make sure that you don't exceed the income levels and asset levels for the state. So we're going to show you exactly how that would work. So first, again, income can get excluded from the calculation, right? So you have countable income. You can deduct insurance premiums if some of that's getting paid, but this personal needs allowance is typically, that's the big exclusion that you're going to have, and really will drive how much income somebody can make, whether it's earned or unearned, before they lose their Medicaid benefit, right? So first you have to add up all your countable income. Maybe you get SSI, maybe you get Social Security, maybe you're getting income from work, maybe you get a pension. The killer that you need to really be aware of is this in-kind support. So it's super important when you talk to the state and you talk to Social Security that you tell them that your disabled loved one pays rent. And I know when my daughter first turned 18 and we started talking to Social Security in the state, they just automatically assumed that she was living at home and she was not paying rent. And so what happened is her SSI benefit was reduced by a third. She got a third less than the max SSI benefit, because they said, oh, well, she's staying at home, she gets room and board, it's worth a third of her benefit, so we're only going to give her 2/3. So that's what happened. So as soon as she got her first SSI payment, we had her pay some room and board, so she pays that every single month. And then we contacted the Social Security and said, hey, she's paying rent, she needs to get more benefit, and actually her benefit went up to the max. Okay, so how it works, you add up all the countable income, you subtract the exclusions, you would subtract maybe work-related expenses if you have them, hopefully, but then you subtract this personal needs allowance, which is 3 times whatever the SSI benefit is. So right now the SSI benefit is $914, so you times that by 3, and this is the exclusion, $2742. So you add up any income, if you're getting SSI, Social Security, pension, whatever, subtract any of the things that you can subtract, and as long as your exclusions are higher than your income and the result is negative, you will qualify for Medicaid in Arizona for access. And literally Addie could make another $1,827, better change that, 27, before she would lose her access, because as soon as this goes to 0 or positive, You get all or nothing. All or nothing, baby. Which would be nothing. Okay? So the state has strict reporting rules, and actually the same reporting rules that the Social Security. Within 10 days of any of these things happening, and there's a big laundry list. This is just some of them. Did the health insurance change? That's why I had to call them. Marital status, did somebody die? Are they going to go to California for more than 30 days and they leave the state? Maybe the state doesn't want to pay the benefit if they're not there. Okay, so let's jump over. That was for the Medicaid benefit. Let's talk about the income benefit from SSI. Okay, so again, usually when you turn into an adult, which is officially 18 years old, you apply at the Social Security Administration for SSI. And again, make sure they pay rent, okay? Because otherwise they'll get less benefit. And if they get more benefit, they can pay you some rent, and they can help pay their own way. That's what life is about. Helping pay your own way. That's why you want a job. You want to be able to go do stuff. Go to the movies. My daughter loves to go to the movies almost every week. So she loves to go travel and go out to theater and stuff. SSI, the rate is determined every year by the federal government. The living arrangements, again, the state where you live, some states supplement SSI. Arizona does not. Okay, and then it's not only about income, but it's also about assets. A disabled person cannot have more than $2,000 worth of assets in their name. Checking account, savings account, a car, different things like that, right? And then other income sources. Okay, I'll show you an example of that right here. Maybe they get Social Security, maybe they get a pension. So they might be getting unearned income, and a whopping $20 gets excluded from your unearned income. Almost enough to go to the movies if you don't get popcorn and a drink. Okay? So now you have your countable income is $480, and you have to subtract that from your SSI benefit, and your new adjusted SSI benefit will be less. Okay? So what happens if you're working, though? Thankfully, earned income is treated a little more favorably than unearned income. So unearned income is dollar for dollar. Your SSI benefit will go down dollar for dollar, except for that whopping $20. Okay, well, if you get earned income, you get 20 plus 65, so you get a whopping $85. Two people can go to the movies. And then maybe you have some travel expenses or some other work-related disability expenses you can claim. But the cool thing is that only half of your income gets counted to reduce your benefit. Okay, so if you're making $800 and you subtract 20 and 65 and 100, you have 615 left, and half of that is 308. I rounded up. So you subtract the 308 from what your SSI benefit would be, and your new SSI benefit is 606. Okay, so this is how earned income would affect your SSI. So over here, you only get 500 plus 434, so you get $934. I mean, like I said, it has a traumatic effect if you get more and more unearned income. But on the earned income side, you made $800 and you still get 606 SSI benefit, right? So that works out pretty good. So how much could you earn before you're going to lose your SSI? Okay, so you got the first $85 that doesn't count. You can deduct work-related expenses, and only 50% of the earned income is counted. So, I mean, roughly, you'd need to make twice the wages as your Social Security benefit, and then you'd run out of Social Security benefit, right? So, so in Arizona, if you earned basically about $1,913, your SSI would adjust to 0, and you'd have no benefit. Okay, so you can make up to that amount of money. You're a person with a disability or somebody on SSI, and you can keep your SSI. But as soon as it goes to 0, remember the impact to your Medicaid part, right? That benefit. So that would mean the state would determine your eligibility. Now the income limit for eligibility for the Medicaid is a lot higher. It's 27, something 3 times the 914. But now the state is going to do that assessment. So anyway, I hope that was valuable, informational, and very important. Again, on my website, in my services and products area, you will find access to all these videos. There's a whole bunch of free content. There'll be a few things that are considered premium content that cost a little bit of money, but it's well worth it. You'll recoup that cost almost immediately. So anyway, thanks again, Ken Creager from Black Swan Financial Advisors, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.